Good morning, Turfs Up Radio. Wayne Bowles, Profits Unlimited, coming to you live from Louisville, Kentucky. Yes, indeedy. Oh, my goodness. We are glad to have you with us today. Got a great show planned today. And yes, Brett Waltz with Bam Weather is going to be with us today here in a few minutes. So looking forward to that, finding out what's going on with our weather. Yay. So see about winter. See if old Punxsutawney Phil was right, wrong, or indifferent. But hey, we'll know for sure about April 15th. But hey, glad you guys are with us today. We are here. Can y'all believe we rode around to another hump day? Here it is, February 11th already. Time flies when you're having fun. Hope you guys are having as much fun as we are. A lot of things going on at WLS and Profits Unlimited. And it's that time of the year, when both things are rolling along pretty daggone good. So, man, we had a lot of snow melt yesterday. I will say that. I mean, our temperature got up to, I don't know, 65, I think it was, or something. And we had a lot of snow melt. Finally got to clear my sidewalk off. Yeah, got my sidewalk done at home. And because I didn't get to it when I should have got to it. And so I thought, well, man, I'm not going to go out there with a chisel and jackhammer and deal with it. So I waited for it to warm up a little bit, and I finally dealt with it yesterday and got it cleaned up. And yes, there is a sidewalk under there again. So had my driveway cleared off, but there was, no need in worrying about the sidewalk because nobody was coming. And my friends or anybody that comes, they come in through the garage through that door. So that's the way it goes. So I guess it was a sign to everybody else says, stay away. So, but no, all joking aside, it true as that is, but that is true. But good Lord, I tell you what, it was a nice day yesterday. Water was rolling like crazy from all the snow everywhere, along the side of the road, and came out this morning. It actually got cool overnight again. I mean, it did get down to about 32, I think, in different parts of Jefferson County here where we're at. But some people had a little bit of refreeze issues, but the pavement was just too warm yesterday to make it a big problem. Now, of course, our local, our local news was talking about, oh gosh, black ice is going to be terrible, and I'm sure there was some out there. I didn't see any in between, on my commute to work this morning. But hey, Craig, happy Wednesday to you too. Yes, indeed. He listening in. He's driving across town. He said mid 60s. All of their snow has melted. Yeah, and he's down around Charlotte where they got a pretty good amount of snow. So, yeah, it was, and most of ours is gone too. Certainly on the sunny side of the street on the subdivisions is gone. And even on the non sunny side, I'm sure it'll be gone today. We're not going to get quite in the 60s today, but high 40s, around 50. So, we'll pick Brett's mind on that a little bit, but yeah, a lot of it would be gone other than the piles. So, and quite honestly, as much as I love snow, man, I'll be glad to see it gone. I mean, it's like, okay, you've overextended your stay. It's nice to see it snow. We make a little money, and and then it melts, and then we get a little more snow, and we make a little money and pay some bills and keep everybody paid here at work and all those good things, right? So, but goodness gracious, to start snowing and just stay around for 30 days or so is just not something that I'm too wild about. So, and I know you guys up north, northeast, where grass turns white and stays that way for a few months every year. You're used to it and you like it, and that's all good, man. To each their own. But I'm glad to see it go. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna lie. But yeah, we've been pretty steady around here, getting things cleaned up, getting our shop cleaned up, getting our trucks cleaned up. We everything's I don't want to say back to normal because it's back to winter normal. Let's put it that way. We're getting ready to start some pre-emergent applications before we know it. I guess that's the next thing up on the agenda, for a lot of us to be thinking about are those applications. And while we're thinking about pre-emergent, we got restocked fully on material, and it's kind of funny, the material thing this year. I mean, not funny, but I mean from a realistic standpoint. Um, and we're not going to make this show about that. We're really not. But just the complaining that went on amongst contractors, and then the reality of what are you going to do about it, man? Just get the daggone ice melter, get it in, and you're going to have to pay more for it, but get it. I mean, you got to have it. And so, yeah, did we enjoy it paying that much for it? Absolutely not. You know, um, but on the other hand, what we did enjoy is when we needed it, we had plenty on hand and were able to service our accounts. And moving forward this winter, hopefully we have a few more outs at least. We're able to service our accounts. I mean, that's just, it is what it is. And it's part of doing business, and your business model dictates how you're going to handle that, and how you're going to handle it with your customers. Like I said, we're not going to get into that today because we talked about it the other day. So, but I did want to just bring that up again because we had several questions. I've had several calls and whatnot, people asking about it through Profits Unlimited, on what they need to do and change and do differently. So. Certainly, this, like we said, this kind of winter does make some adjustments to the mindset on how you're going to do things, and why you're going to do them. And we all learn them the hard way. I mean, that's the reality of it. I mean, it's not it's one of those things that it doesn't matter till it matters. It's not a problem till it's a problem. And then you figure out a solution. But if you want to speed through some of those solution finders, uh, feel free to reach out to us here at Profits Unlimited. We'd be happy to help you with that. But yeah, it was nice to get things cleaned up good. Speaking of getting things cleaned up, we actually got our office carpet cleaned yesterday, and man, it was nice coming in today, and everything, carpet wise, looking good. And that won't last long, but it looks really nice, really good. We always joke about it and say, hey, we get our carpet clean, we know it's going to snow. So we're not wishing, we don't want a big snow, big by definition, was different for all of us. But I don't know, 2 to 4 inch snow would be good. And maybe a couple 1 inch outs would be really good too. So we'll see how that all plays out. But and then we'll get some input from Brett, see what he thinks on that too. But when he hollers at us, he told me, he says, "Man, I'm really going to try to hop on." He said they've just been off the hook, and with things going with weather all over the country and that whole thing. So we understand it. Hey, man, we understand it 100%. So, but yeah, it was nice to get our carpet clean. Nice to get things cleaned up. Katie, speaking of Brett, there he is. Ta-da! All right, Brett, how you doing, buddy?
Good morning, Wayne. I'm doing good. How are you?
Good morning. I hope everything's going good for you.
Hey, it's good. It's quiet. How about that for the first time in a while?
Yeah. I'm sure you guys are happy for that. Absolutely. Kind of like us, a little slowdown for a minute, right?
Yeah, we'll take the break in February when we get it.
When you get it. I know you guys have been rolling hot all winter long, haven't you? Pretty much. I mean, started what, early December, you know?
Yeah, I mean, really, gosh, it was around Black Friday, Thanksgiving, the first system. So it's been going strong for 2.5 months, really.
And well, hey, the I want to pick your brain a little bit. I know you always got great things you're going to talk about with us for a few
Sure.
minutes, but um, it looks like this Valentine's Day thing for a lot of the countries turned to rain versus snow.
Yeah.
What's your latest and greatest opinion on that?
Yeah, I really don't see much in the way of snow, especially across the Ohio Valley in the middle of the country with this system. It's going to be primarily rain. we'll need to watch New England as we work into Sunday, Monday for perhaps some snow. But for the Ohio Valley, I think especially along and south of the Ohio River could be some decent rain, but it should just be rain and not have to deal with any mixed precipitation or snow with it.
And for our friends listening to us up in New England area, what region there are you talking about?
Yeah, I would be looking specifically at upstate New York, Boston, Hartford, Connecticut, up
Okay,
towards Maine, maybe Pennsylvania and New York City. We'll need to keep an eye on. But the further north you go in those coastal regions will be the areas to really watch.
I got you. All right. Well, does do you think there's any relationship science wise to wet winter versus a dry summer? We were kind of
You know,
kicking that around a little bit, and okay,
it,
does that mean we're going to have a dry summer?
it's not one to one. There's a lot of different variables that go into it. What I would say is that what happens in winter can actually set the stages for precipitation trends. And specifically, I think if it's a relatively snowless winter and it's relatively warm, you don't get the surplus of moisture like you normally would. And it can make it easier to heat up and get drought as you head into the summer. A
All right.
great example of that is 2011, 2012. It did not snow much that winter. It was very mild in the winter, and that continued into the start of spring. And so you set the stages very early, in my opinion, in that particular winter because you just didn't get the snow. You didn't get moisture to soak into the ground. And when that happens, the soil is a little bit drier heading into the start of the season. It's easier to warm up quicker and get dry as a result. So I don't see a correlation between a wet winter like this winter or a snowy one and a dry, hot summer the
I
following
got you.
summer.
I did. I saw my notice from you guys saying about the spring outlook coming, that
Yeah,
webinar coming up, and that's what it got us thinking about it.
yeah,
A
yeah,
little bit. We're season ahead. We think a season ahead, and we're like, okay, how much pre-emergent problem are we going to have if we have a really wet spring, and
sure.
so yeah, we're looking forward to that. Just to try to get your all's forecast on it because BAM
Yeah.
weather is the only one we trust.
Well,
So
yeah, I appreciate that. And yeah,
nobody's
keep us in,
perfect, but you guys
well,
are pretty daggone good.
I'm happy to admit, and I'm not going to complain about it. I thought the cold would come back the back half of February, and it's looking like it's going to stay more mild because of some stuff that's going on over in the stratosphere over the Arctic with the polar vortex. But I'm not going to complain about it turning a little bit warmer for the back half of February.
So what does that mean for, say, the Ohio Valley? I'm gonna be stingy for a minute and just agree,
Yeah,
talk about me because we went ahead and ordered back up pretty heavily on ice melter. And
sure.
I was just wondering, do we just send that invoice to Brett Waltz Bam Weather, or how?
Well, you know what? Here's what I'll say. A couple of things. I do think the pattern is milder overall,
Okay,
but we do need to keep in mind it's still February,
that's
so
right.
you can have refreeze issues. I do think there's the potential for a storm system and a decent little cold front as we close out the month, kind of around the 26th or so. So
All
we'll
right.
need to keep an eye on that time frame. And I also think the back half of March has the potential to be colder as well. And you never know. We've had seasons, 2018 is a good example of it, 2014. We've had seasons where we've had snow
Yeah.
and wintry precipitation well into March. I
Uh,
don't think it's going to be frequent. I think that we're past the worst of winter for sure. And I think we
okay.
have a lot more warm time and above freezing time than not. But I don't think winter is completely over
Not
either.
over yet. And why does it always seem like, in March when you do get a snow like in March that it's normally a bigger snow? It
That's a great question. And there is a reason for that because what often happens is you don't have as good of a cold air source, right?
all right.
And so the storm has to do what we call make its own cold air. And it needs to be a very dynamic, kind of a stronger storm system. storms tend to be a little stronger by the time you work into March with a little bit more moisture. And so if they can cool enough, there's plenty of moisture to produce a bigger snow. It's boom or bust, if you will. You're either going to get kind of a big system or you're not going to get anything. It's just going to be rain.
I got you. Because I know just in our experience here, and it just seems like, man, when it snows in March, it's always a heavy, wet snow, and
Yep. Yep.
it's normally several inches. Not a foot or anything. I guess it could be, but
Sure.
it's
Sure.
just, but you don't have those inch snows kind of thing in March.
Yeah.
Doesn't seem
Yeah. No,
like it.
you're absolutely right.
So, but anyway, so Valentine's Day looking pretty good for anybody who wants to take their sweetie out in a
Yeah.
lot of the country,
Yeah.
other than wet.
You might deal with a little bit of rain across the Ohio Valley, the Tennessee Valley for sure. Maybe some flooding issues, Arkansas, Tennessee, Mississippi, Alabama, with some heavier rain down there. But outside of that, it's not going to be all that cold. Temperatures in the 50s for the most part on Valentine's Day.
Cincinnati,
And
Dayton area, that region up through
yeah,
there, Indianapolis,
yeah,
that 70 quarter, same thing.
yeah, same thing. Low 50s, some light rain possible, especially in the evening hours. But it's been trending a little bit drier, if anything. So I wouldn't be shocked if Indy, Dayton, Columbus, if there's a risk, it would be that most of the rain stays south of those areas.
I gotcha. Okay. Well, good deal. Any special plans for you and your honey this weekend, or
We are last minute planners, so
are
I'm
you?
sure we will look at each other on Friday evening and be like, I guess we should probably figure out something to do.
Yeah.
But with a 1 year old, then you have to depend on
then
babysitters.
then there's yeah. Gosh, one already. Goodness gracious.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Almost 1.5.
Goodness. It's hard to believe, Brett. It's that
It,
time flies when you're having fun, buddy. So
it sure does. It sure does.
Bam seems to be doing really well from everything I'm reading about you guys and watching some of Michael's post and Matt. So you
Yeah.
guys are
Mhm.
rocking it. It seems like keeping people happy pretty much. And hope nobody's throwing rocks at you. You can send them my way if you want to, man. You know,
I think
nobody's perfect.
I think that as far as the winter has gone from a forecast standpoint, it's gone. I'm really proud of our team. I think that everybody's done as well as we possibly could, both short term and long term. It's never going to be 100% when it comes to weather, but I think that we're pretty darn close in terms of how everything has evolved.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I know you guys, as always, have helped us make really good decisions, this winter on what we were going to do and how we were, our preparedness, if you will, as far as we loading trucks, we not loading trucks, and
Sure.
so we certainly appreciate all that help from you guys. And if ever y'all need a referral, certainly, you can get one from me. Uh, I'm I'm
Well,
one of your really biggest fans, man. We used a different source for a lot of years, and we didn't get nearly the confidence in forecasting. And I'm not going to say who it is. I'm not throwing anybody under the bus. I don't play that
sure.
way. But we feel a lot better when we look at Euros. One thing I do have a question on in your
Sure.
Clarity app, and this is really,
Sure.
really neat for you guys that aren't with BAM as far as them being one of the best investments you'll make in your business, is when you go to the part where it says I'm trying, it's where it says like most snow, least snow, most
Oh
likely.
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah. Yeah.
how do we interpret that really as like the most likely? Is that really most likely? And should we think on the high side, or what does that
Yeah.
really mean?
So the great thing about the Clarity platform is our team can actually get in and make adjustments to that to try to make it as accurate as possible. Because data is data. It's not always going to be perfect. So when we can add kind of the human element to that, we can make that even more accurate. So the most likely, we're always going to try to make represent uh, the closest to reality that we think is going to happen, and then that minimum and the maximum range kind of gives you your risk. So, if it trends a little heavier, if it trends a little lighter, it's going to give you more of a risk range. And sometimes that range is bigger, which would indicate lower confidence in the forecast. And sometimes that range is smaller. When it's smaller, it indicates that it's a pretty high confidence forecast.
Okay. And because I mean, we always looked at the most likely because that made the
Yeah,
most sense, if you will, you know.
yeah, that's the best
But
thing to
but
look at for sure.
God, I mean, you talk about giving somebody a sick stomach, man. When that a few weeks ago, when that bigger storm went through that affected, like
Hmm.
everybody from Texas to, you know, the North Pole or wherever the hell it
Sure.
was. We're seeing like, possible 21 inches. We're like, oh my God,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
then we're like, okay, I've turned my phone off and on a couple times, man. Just,
yeah. Well, it ended up. I know there were a couple spots in southern Indiana
oh
that
yeah. I mean, they got it.
supposed
And
to
we're
have
like,
snow.
and thank God we had a little sleet
Little,
contamination or we'd have
yeah.
had a lot more than we had. And,
Yeah, that I was just talking with Matt about that this morning. I was like, I ended up with about 9 inches at my house. We had sleet for several hours, but
yeah,
if not for that, we would have been 18 to 20 inches of snow because sleet cuts down on snow by about 70%. So
is it?
you can factor that in and think about how long you had sleet and
Yeah.
calculate how much snow you would have gotten.
I know
So
when
it definitely,
we were happy when it started sleeting, trust me.
yeah,
It
yeah,
was
it
it was like thank you Jesus.
would have I mean shut things down even longer than it ended up doing it. So we'll take 9 inches, or I think Louisville ended up at about 6 or 7 inches. We'll take that over 20.
Yeah, any day, any day. So, hey, I appreciate you hopping on with us, Brett. I know
Sure.
you guys are always busy, and uh, just appreciate everything y'all do for us. And if you guys are interested in having a great weather source at one of the most affordable prices you'll ever get return on investment on, you need to reach out to those guys. And what's the best way for them to get a hold of y'all, Brett? Just to,
Yeah, they can head to our website at bamwx.com and click on the button there on the home page to inquire. Or we've got our webinar coming up too. So bamwx.com/webinar. That'll give you kind of a little more value about what we're expecting for the spring season ahead.
Absolutely. And like I said, you guys are rock stars for us. And I know it's got to be, it's more than us, but I'm the only one that I can say, hey, man, you guys are well worth the small investment, that it takes to engage with you guys to get that 24/7 live communication whenever you want it. And, just, we just love it, man. So if you need a
We
testimonial,
appreciate
let me know.
Yeah, well, we appreciate your support as always. You're always awesome to work with, and always
All
happy
right.
to chat with you.
Well, tell Matt hello for me and talk to him for a
I
while.
will.
So appreciate
I
y'all, and
will.
we'll talk to you next time, Brett.
Yep. Thanks, Wayne.
All right, thank you. All right, that was Brett Waltz with BAM Weather, bamwx.com. Be sure to reach out to those guys. Very affordable, and they just do a great job in giving you real time information and give you a good way to run your business is what it amounts to. So, you guys stay tuned. We're going to take a short break. Hey, welcome back to Profit Time here on Turfs Up Radio. I want to give Craig a big shout out. Be safe on your travels as you're commuting around uh, down there. So, said their snow is all gone. So they had a pretty good little snow down there. Our snow's just about gone here, so we'll be getting that pre-emergent started here. Not too far out. I mean, not too probably a couple weeks on the outside. Uh, Probably the longest. But before we get to doing all that, Daniel, appreciate you hopping on with me today as always.
Yes,
And can we share your new adventure?
sure.
Daniel bought him a guitar yesterday.
Yeah, so if anybody plays any instruments and has any advice, let me know.
Yeah, he's. We're looking forward to hearing Daniel's first song, whatever it may be. Do you start out with like Mary Had a Little Lamb on a guitar, like you do almost everything else?
I guess you
Or,
could.
you,
I really don't know where you start yet.
uh, he literally just got this yesterday.
Yep.
So, uh, how do you pick out a guitar? Just quickly before we
You
get into something
so
real
there's
serious.
different sizes. There's like the smallest one's called a parlor guitar, and then it goes up to like maybe single zero
Do
and
they
double
sound
zero.
differently?
They do sound different because the sound comes from the space within the guitar.
Oh, okay.
So the air within the guitar creates the different sounds.
All
Like you
right.
know where the
So
hole
the
is.
round part of the guitar.
So the bigger that space is, the
Yeah.
different sound it's going to make. So some guitars, I can't remember for sure which way it goes, have better high notes, some have better low, or maybe not better, but more like in depth, different ranges other than just like high versus low versus medium. Some guitars are better at different points. So that's one thing to consider, like what size, and then what size is comfortable for your body. So like if I have long arms and I have long fingers, so I can play pretty much any size of a guitar, but if you're shorter or whatever,
Okay.
you might not be able to get around the biggest guitar,
The
or it
reach
might not
of,
be as comfortable.
okay. Are they left and right handed?
They do have left and right handed, and that's what I asked the guy when I went in there yesterday. I was like, I've never played a guitar before, but I played air guitar the opposite way of everybody else. So it just
Yeah.
came naturally for me to play like that. And but I also said I played the Guitar Hero, the game, with the regular guitar, like the ones
Hmm.
they sold. I don't think they sold left-handed guitars for that.
All right.
So I was like, I have experience with this game, and I know I can like make myself probably learn it either way. And he was like, yeah, most left-handed guitarists, or not, maybe not most, but a lot of them will just play with a traditional guitar because it's easier to like learn from someone teaching a right-handed,
Yeah.
a normal guitar, if you will, because they don't have to, for
So
one, you
if
don't have to look for a left-handed guitar teacher. And
so like okay, so I would be like this. I'd be playing left handed
yes,
because I'm left
the
handed.
one you're strumming with is the
Is
hand.
the hand that's your predominant hand of
Yes.
okay, and the strumming is playing with right the
Yeah, so
over the big part of the guitar.
yes.
Okay.
So that's
So which way did you decide to go?
I went traditional just because I wanted to make it a little bit easier for learning, more
Okay.
opportunities, different
Damn.
videos and all that kind of stuff. Which the guy said that the owner, I think he said the owner of the shop is left-handed too, and maybe another one in there, and they both play right. Or he didn't call him right-handed; he called him like normal or traditional. But
Huh. Well, good
so
luck. I'm looking forward to hearing you rock it out.
yeah, I'm looking forward to just
Go
learning
from a
and
guitar to
seeing where I can go
we'll
with
give
it.
you an electric guitar before long.
Um, I doubt it because you can start with electric.
Oh, can you?
Yeah, you can learn electric. It's not like a step up. It's not higher or harder per se. It's just what you're playing and learning.
Oh, okay. All right.
And actually, you can make some acoustic guitars, many acoustic guitars electric. So,
Really?
yeah, different
And that's
plugins and
a
stuff. So,
well, good deal. And they all have the same number of strings on them.
there's 5-string guitars, 6-string guitars, and then I think you get into like different instruments with like banjos that have maybe 4 strings.
Huh.
I think less strings, but yeah, I think 5 and 6 are the most.
Now, do you still have your same musical notes like
Yeah,
A, B, C, D,
it's on a
you
guitar.
know,
I learned yesterday. It's
E, G, B, D, F?
EADGBE
Okay.
as the how it goes on from the strings
All right.
down the line.
Whew. Good luck. It's a lot to remember. I never was smart enough to play an instrument.
Well, I don't think it's necessarily being smart enough. I just
I
think it's
mean,
putting the time into it, you know?
trying to read the music and then think about playing.
Yeah.
But,
It's just a matter
but
of commitment to it. You
yeah,
know, it's like your health and fitness or your business. It's not necessarily who's the smartest guy. It's who's willing to, put
I
the
hope
most
you got
effort
your
in.
mom's gene on musical ability because
Yeah,
she
she
was
plays instruments.
she was really good at it. Yeah, absolutely. So hopefully you got her DNA on that. You'll find out. Yeah, she was really good. So well, good luck with that, man.
Thank you.
Can't wait till you play your first song here for us on Turfs Up.
Yeah.
You know.
A little plugged unplugged session here on
Yeah,
Turfs Up Radio.
yeah. Be a fun fact Friday. Daniel's playing his guitar.
Yeah. It'd be
Yeah,
like Adam Sandler. I'll do some fun fact guitar playing.
yeah.
Combine the
True
two.
that. All right. Well, we did want to give you a shout out on that. We're looking forward to that. And I know your last adventure in college was what, a harmonica.
Yeah.
I remember you did that for a while.
Yeah. That was fun. It was just I didn't stick with it.
Yeah, but still, that was interesting too.
Yeah.
You
I
know.
did some video lessons and some videos on playing different songs and stuff. But
Only thing I ever tried playing, and that was because I had to in the eighth grade. And that's what a lot of students do now in school. I guess they still do. That thing they call a recorder,
yeah,
and I don't know, it's about a foot long.
yeah,
I
it's
think,
like a little flute kind of looking thing,
yeah,
almost maybe
yeah.
even smaller. I don't
And it
know.
had like 6 or 7 little holes in it.
Yeah, I remember we always had one at the house
Yeah.
growing up. We always had a recorder.
And I got to where that's when my brother went into the Marine Corps, actually. And I got the best song, the biggest or longest song I ever did was the Marine hymn.
Nice.
So, yeah, I did learn that. So, so anyways, good luck with that. I'm sure you'll do good with it. It'll
Yeah.
be fun. Um,
It's
any,
going to be fun early on, and then it's going to be frustrating, and then it'll be fun again.
yeah. And then what about your fingers, man?
Oh yeah. We actually stopped by Caitlin's dad's work on the way back,
Yeah.
and somebody he works with, I'm not sure, whatever.
Yeah.
But he's been playing guitar for, he said, since he was like 10 years old, so decades, and he was like giving me some pointers and stuff. He's
Yeah.
like, you just got to get over the, building the calluses, so that you might have a little finger pain, might have maybe even a little bit of blood here and there, but mostly just build some calluses.
Nice. Nice. Fred Likens, who said he started taking guitar lessons 3 years ago. He said it's the best thing he ever did for himself.
Nice. That's cool.
So,
How long did it take you to feel like you could be confident with it? Not fully like, hey, I'm going to go, play every song or do everything, but just enough to be like, okay, I feel like I can pick this up and do something with it.
yeah. Yeah, because I'm sure, everybody's going to say, hey, Daniel, bring your guitar.
Yeah.
Next Christmas, everybody's going to expect you
I hope
to
by next
play
Christmas I can
something
do
about
something. That would
Thanksgiving
be
or
cool.
Christmas,
That would be
you know.
that'd be cool.
So he said about a year.
That's fair. Yeah.
Yeah. So there you go, man. A year from now, you'll be feeling a little more comfortable for sure and have a callus or two on your fingers and
Yep.
good deal. It's certainly something good to do for yourself. It's certainly, self participation.
Yeah. That's what this guy said. He was like, whenever everybody's out of the house, I just pick up the guitar and, start playing it and have some fun. And it gives me something to do
Mm-hmm.
to both kind of just either both be creative, but also just kind of take your mind off of stuff and take some, time for yourself and that kind of thing. So,
Yeah. Well, good deal. Enjoy.
thank you.
Enjoy for sure. Enjoy. It does force you into doing something for yourself. That's a good part about it,
Yeah.
you know?
I've kind of twirled these two together of learning a new language, which I started like this time last year ish, a little bit before, in January.
Yeah,
But
that was your French, right? That for
yeah,
your trip.
yeah. So I've kind of intertwined these two. So hopefully maybe one can lead into the other a little bit, just like using the brain helps each other grow.
You know, that kind of takes me to a quote of the day that I saw, and was really good. It says, when you realize that each day is not one more day, it's one less.
Yeah.
You start giving more value to things that truly matter.
Yeah.
And that was there. You go. Do something for yourself.
Yeah.
So, with that being said, we're going to take a short break. I had some fireplace. My fireplace had a little issue that ended up being a thermocoupler on it. But so I called for some service, and I will say, very fortunate. I reached out to a couple of different companies, and they were both very good as far as returning the phone call, setting up an appointment, following up with an appointment. And I did narrow down to one that, and only because they could get to me the quickest, and they still had very good reviews, Daniel. So it wasn't like, okay, well, God, you're going to risk that. I mean, they both were good companies, good reputations, longevity, and one could just get to me a little quick. And even at that, I had to wait. I can't remember exactly what it was, 8 or 9 days. So which wasn't an emergency. I mean, it's just a fireplace, right? But they did get there yesterday, and it was really cool. The lady that showed up to provide the service on the fireplace for me was actually one of the owners. We got to talking a little bit, and just small talking because they want you to be there. And I told her, I said, well, I feel really weird being here because I hate when our customers watch us work. I really do. That used to really mess me up. It's like, go inside for a little bit, let me work. But when you're inside, and they're inside,
Yeah.
even though you're not right there sitting on top of them, it's a little weird sensation, or it is for me. But anyway, we got to talking just briefly, and because I know she wanted to get her job done too. But that's when she was telling me that she was one of the owners, and they've been in business like 35 years, 36 years, and looking forward to an exit interview, if you will, exiting out. Her kids, I think she said they had two kids and a son-in-law working in their business and whatnot. But really, they did a great job. And the only reason I want to talk about it here for just this brief time frame before we move on is just the fact of it's that time of the year for all of us when we're going to start getting leads, and it's going to be time to do your follow-ups and get your proposals out. And we'll talk more on that on another show. But that whole sales process thing, on keeping your customer uh, informed, if you will. um, Craig said, what's the best format to record those on? Daniel, what would you think?
Really, you could just use your phone, either the camera thing, and we can turn it into audio, or if you want to use like the voice
The voice memo?
memo app. Yeah, either one.
Either one of those. So, yeah, your video and
Just do it kind of in a semi-quiet environment.
think let that one go to voicemail. Came in as somebody unregistered. So, but yeah, Craig, to answer your question, or all you guys out there, simply just take your phone, put it on video, and Daniel can.
You can send it if you have, your number. You send it to you, and
Yep,
get
just
it over to me, and we can put it on the thing.
we'll get it up there. So, and just send it in to me, 502-550-8307 for you guys listening to us that don't text us generally. Love to have one from you guys too. Again, that's 502-550-8307. So that's what the plan is.
Yeah, and if you like, getting other people involved in it, that's always fun too. Kind of like how Corey did. You don't have to do that,
Yeah.
but it kind of makes it fun. Get your wife or your kids or whoever,
Yep.
your brother, your sister, your dog barking or whatever.
Whoever you want to get back in there. Oh. Da-da-da.
Get your crew in there in the
That would be
recording.
really interesting.
Whoever,
Yeah.
more the merrier.
Mm-hmm. Be fun to listen to say the least. But today we're getting out a mailing out of here. Speaking of the time of the year to generate leads and whatnot, and uh, we got a actual snail mail mailing going out. It's always works very good for us, and we always do it about this time of the year. Um, and then Katie does quite a bit through email marketing for us as well on this topic, but we seem to get a really good response to the snail mail still on this, and it's where we offer priority placement, or go ahead and sign up early, get priority placement on your spring cleanups, your spring mulch, and that thing, and it really gives us a good start to um, when we do, depending on weather, get out and a good starting point, because some people want to go ahead and get it done early. Some people say, yeah, I want to go ahead and sign up, but I don't want it done until mid March or late March, or wait till April. But so that's why the verbiage that we use on the letter is not the sign up early to get it done early, is sign up for priority placement. You tell us what fits your schedule, kind of thing. So we found that works much better than saying, hey, sign up early, because somebody may not want to get their mulch put down 1st of March or mid March. They might want to wait. Our push point around here for a lot of people is closer to Derby, so it's more of a mid April time frame, So, and everybody's market has different push points, but my whole point is now's the time to be thinking about getting that list, if you will, going. And giving your customers, we the other day we talked about loyalty, Daniel, and this is something we do to try to create a little thing, a subliminal loyalty message saying, "Hey, you tell us when your time's right." And it's going to our existing customers, so it's something that we're making them feel important, that they're involved more heavily in on selecting a time frame for their service. What do you think?
Yeah, definitely.
I mean,
Anything where you can show you're loyal to them, that reciprocating loyalty hopefully is, in return.
yeah. And like I said, it always gives us a really nice base to start off with. And it continues to grow. And it continues to grow. So just thought I'd throw that out there. We're going to talk about sales. I don't know if we'll do it Friday, but certainly if we don't do it Friday, maybe next week for sure. Because we are getting to that time of the year, and I want to we're going to when we get into that show, we're going to talk more about processes that you've got in place, and discuss that. So, but I do also want to talk a little bit about today about taking the market backwards, and I think that's the reality of for a lot of you guys that think, hey, I'm trying to get out there, I'm trying to get a route set up. I'm trying to grow my business. I'm trying to scale my business, and I'm willing to take a little bit less now to grow my business. And I just want to say that from somebody that used that business model, it's a bad business model. I'm going to go ahead and say it. I know we touched on it maybe a little bit the other day, but I want to elaborate the last few minutes of our show today on it. That, I personally think, I'm going to just go ahead and say it. I think it's a terrible business model, because what happens is, and this is just what I've lived, and I've seen a lot of different contractors live it in different parts of the country, people that we've eventually helped, and people that said, hey, that really messed me up trying to do it that way. And then you got the other side of the coin that says, well, man, that's how I did it, and it worked, and we survived it. And yeah, we survived it too. But if I had to do all over again, I would not have went about it that way. Because at the end of the day, what happens is you build a database or customer list, if you will, up of people that potentially are underpriced. And in most cases, the larger percentage of them are underpriced because you're just trying to fill a route. Now, I'm not saying you maybe it's not okay to take a smaller margin to fill a route, but when we don't know what we don't know from a pricing standpoint, is the reality of it is, and the most important problem that creates is you're taking the market backwards. I mean, that's just the reality of it. So you don't want to take the market backwards. You don't want to take yourself backwards. Many times we don't know that that's what we're doing, but in reality, that's what's happening. So, and the reason that happens is because we don't understand what our true costs per hour of operation are. So, and that's one thing you guys that have listened to me know that I'd say, hey, charge $100 an hour, charge $200 an hour, or anything in between, more or less. No, but what you need to understand is, how do you calculate your break even point based on your overhead, your use rates, and your desired profit margin? And the most important word in there is your break even point. In other words, how low can you go and still take the job? And that way, once you truly understand that, then you can go out and bid your jobs accordingly. And if you want to take a smaller margin on a particular job to fill a route, if you will, then that's a business decision that you've made. But make that business decision on the reality of knowing that, hey, hey, I know I'm a little below my normal profit margin that I want to achieve, but I also know that I'm still making a small margin on this, and assuming that everything goes okay with it, I can increase my pricing. Now, when you don't understand that and you use a methodology that some suggest of going in low and then raising the pricing significantly 4 or 5 months in or the next year, the reality that is, in my opinion, this is just my humble opinion, why put yourself through that? You know, understand your costs, figure out what your costs are, go after the right client. And we got a really good video. Daniel, is that going on
YouTube.
YouTube or Profit Circle?
YouTube.
We got a really good video coming out addressing this. Be out on social media and going out in YouTube format, talking about this in depth. And the reality of it is, when we push the market backwards, and we don't know that we're pushing the market backwards, you're just building a business model that is just procrastinating a problem for not only you, but the rest of us in this industry. And I've seen it happen over and over and over and over again. Let's just say you're 20% under what the market will bear. Because from the concept of, well, this is what the market will bear, I think the reality says, well, hey, this is what the market will bear, because so many contractors within the market don't have a clue as to why they're charging what they're charging, that there's an artificial expectation from the client's point of view on what something's worth. Now, we're not going to get all into that side of it this morning, but what I want to say is this, to just get this point across briefly this morning. Let's just say you're 20% less than what the market will bear or what the market should bear. Okay. You think, well, okay, well, that's only 20%, or let's just call it 15%. Okay. Which is reality. That's a very reality number. Okay. Even if you're a contractor that says, hey, I'm going to go in cheap, but raise the prices, it's going to take you 7 or 8 years to get the market where it was at before you went in and prostituted the market down 15 to 20%. And that's if you really stick to a defined business model that says, hey, we're going to have I'm going to do this, but I'm going to have and Daniel, help me with this. I'm going to have a 4% increase or a 5% increase or whatever percent increase. They put a plan together to get back to where it needs to be. But by the time they get it back to where it was 7 or 8 years later, they're still 7 years behind on where it could be. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah, you're trying to reach today's numbers tomorrow, but tomorrow's
is a new number.
Yeah, rate doesn't match to what your today's rate of projection is going to be, or I don't know if that.
Yeah. So let's just go back to let's clear the mud a little bit, because I know we muddied up the water, or I muddied up the water with that. Let's just keep it simple and say, hey, you're 20% less. Okay. So you're 20% less. Even if you have a 4% increase over the next 5 years, that's only accounting for what you were under. That's not accounting for any inflation change. Now you got the inflation change to overcome. So that's why I'm saying it's a minimum of 7 or 8 years to recover, to get it back to where it was at. And now, even at that point, you're still 7 years behind. So you say, well, I'll just go 10% every year, or hey, I've got a buddy that's bought into a franchise that tells you to raise 30% the first year, and who stays. Well, why don't you just do the first thing first? Why don't you know what your costs are? Figure out where your break-even point's at, what's your desired profit margin you want it to be, And then at the reality of all that, what steps into play is you're not going to go out and undersell yourself by 20%.
Yeah. You're also not going to go because at a potentially what you're going to do is lose X percentage of customers that fit your low price model that may have been in an area or areas that then don't support your new model of increasing your rate. So then you have half a route over here, half a route over here, and you're trying to build a new route way over here in a different part of town that does support a new rate.
Then you're in problems.
Then yeah, then
Then you're becoming a statistic. So we just want today to plant the seed that says, hey, don't think, don't use the mindset. And then we really go into this on the video that we did. So check this video out on YouTube. But the reality of it is, you know, when you go in and you're thinking, hey, I'm going to go in cheap, I'm small, I can do it cheaper, you scale your business a little bit. So when your business scales, then you run into this other problem of trying to get the market back to where it was at. And trust me, that's why the failure rate's as high as it is. You do not have to believe me. All you have to do is look at the failure rates for our industry. I've watched it happen time and time again. If you want to eliminate it, you know, it's up to you if you want to change it or you want to eliminate the problem. Okay? But what you're going to have to do, you know, the reality of it is what you're going to have to do is you're going to be the one that has to change. And the reality of it is, you know, that's a choice that you got to make, right, Daniel? I mean,
yeah, only you can do it. And when you do it, when you and you and you and you decide to do it, then there is a bigger change.
then there is a bigger industry change. And but hey, it's up to you. So hey, appreciate you guys being with us today. Daniel, thanks for hopping on
Welcome.
as always. And hope you guys have a great day. Appreciate you turning in here on Turfs Up Radio. And we'll see you guys on Friday at 10 a.m. And in the meantime, keep Turfs Up Radio on. Share it with your friends because, as you guys know, we are the only live radio station in the world. So
For the green industry.
for the green industry. Yeah,
The bold
there's a lot of live radio stations, but we are the only one geared toward the green industry. So take that, put that in your pipe and smoke it. And we'll see you Friday. And remember, profit is not a dirty word.